Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Beasley, Superintendent of Schools here in Clayton County Public Schools. I hope everyone's doing well this afternoon. Thank you for joining me for this YouTube Live focusing on discipline and what we should continue to do to ensure a positive learning environment for all of our students. If you will, please take a second or so to inform others that we're having this YouTube Live session at this time, and remind them that if they can't participate in this live interactive session, it will be posted as soon as we are finished. So the recording again will be posted as soon as we are finished. So again, if you will, take a second or two and text, email, call someone to inform them that we are having this YouTube live session at this time. We'll give you about 30 seconds to do so, and we'll get started. Thank you for taking out time of your busy schedule to join us today as we have this very important conversation with our community, our parents here in Clayton County. And thank you for joining us on today. Today's YouTube live session will focus on one topic in particular, student discipline. So I'd like to first get your thoughts. We are in the third week of school. As a matter of fact, tomorrow begins the fourth week of school. Can you believe it? Tomorrow begins the fourth week of school. So please use the chat box and share. How have the first 3 weeks of school been going for you or your children? I'd like to see your thoughts, so feel free. You can use one word or a few words. Keep it clean, of course. But how has the first few weeks of school been going for you, or how have the first few weeks of school been going for you this school year? Feel free to share a response to that question. Well, thank you for sharing your responses. We'll continue to move along. One reason we're having this conversation is because of student discipline. I want to first commend our students who are doing their very best to always model the most appropriate behavior within our schools, in classrooms, and even beyond the schoolhouse. And so I want to say to you parents that have that expectation of our children, thank you for holding them accountable. Our goal is to teach them at very high levels. And as you well know, it takes a positive learning environment for that to occur. Now that we are about to begin our fourth week of school, I thought it would be very appropriate to share a few observations and some expectations that we need to all work on as we move through this school year. We have observed here in our school system, as many school systems, if you're reading the news throughout the state, more student fights than we normally experience. Fighting is unacceptable at any time, any school year, but we have seen an increase of about 200% when we compare ourselves, or at least the first 12 days of this school year, to the first 12 days of the last school year, or the first 12 days before the pandemic. There has been an increase in the number of student physical confrontations. As you well know, this creates an environment that is very much in direct opposition to what is needed for students to learn at very high levels. So parents, we want to first inform you, and I'm confident your principals are keeping you informed. Your school teams are keeping you informed. But as I've been meeting with all the principals, they requested that I consider this YouTube session to really highlight at a district level what our expectations are when it comes to our students and their behavior. I want to really encourage all of us that as a district, as we improve, we must ensure that our students are behaving themselves appropriately. They're responding appropriately. We know conflict occurs. Students disagree, but there is a way to handle conflict and disagreement. And we want to remind everyone of those proper procedures and expectations throughout this YouTube live session. I want to share that all of our students have received their code of conduct. Parents, I'm encouraging you to read the code of conduct. Students, read the code of conduct. And most importantly, make sure that you understand the code of conduct. It's important in order for us to achieve high levels of teaching and learning that our students are behaving themselves appropriately. And again, I want to commend most of our students do just that. But as you well know, it only takes a few to disrupt the classroom or to disrupt the school, which disrupts everyone. And what we don't want to see is that disruption occurring throughout our schools and our school system here in Clayton County. I want to remind all of us of the prevention strategies that we have in place as we try to hold our students here in Clayton County to high expectations. We have a school conflict workshop that we offer. We have Project Handle It Before Prison, which allows students to look at their lives and their decisions. We have workshops for safe dating, theft workshops, personal space. How do you respond and respect people's personal space? We have the Aspire, a smoking prevention interactive experience. We have law-related education, positive impact, and complete control. We have many programs that are considered alternatives to suspensions. However, let me be very clear. Students who are engaged in physical fighting, they put themselves and others in harm's way. They place themselves at risk. We want to support all of our students, and we will, and we have here in Clayton County. We work very closely with the juvenile courts here in Clayton County. As a matter of fact, we met today to discuss the Second Chance program for these young people that are in need of a second chance. And so we're trying to figure out the right balance when young people have made the wrong decision, but then they place themselves and their families in a situation where they don't have access to an education, a public education. And as I've shared before, oftentimes when you're expelled from one district, other school districts will not accept you because they respect our dispositions, even as we respect their dispositions. But we find ourselves having to respond to parents and students who are in those situations, who want children to be given a second chance. We're balancing the priority of safety and the priority of education. But oftentimes, students, parents, when we do things that violate the student code of conduct, you place us in very difficult positions as we want to hold you accountable while we also provide all the other students a very safe learning environment. I want you to know we are working with the juvenile courts to address the weapons and the fights. We are working to address those students last year or maybe the year before who are still grappling with the consequences of their behavior, of their action. And clearly this year, we are working to address those students that are making decisions that will place themselves and their education at risk. But parents, we need your support. We do need your support. If it be the case that your student has been involved in some type of physical altercation, there will be a reintegration conference. And parents, you must attend that reintegration conference. It could be the case that the student has to go through a tribunal, depending on the disposition, the investigation, the charge. But it's so important, parents, that you understand that our children, your children, they will be held accountable. And a part of that accountability is the parents' involvement in that process. Whether you're being informed, whether you are expected to attend a tribunal or a conference, a reintegration conference, parents will have to be involved. Parents, we need your support. We need your understanding. We need your cooperation. Remember, safety and security is everyone's responsibility. So parents, the first thing I'm going to request of you is please work with the schools. When you go to the schools, we need our parents to model the very best behavior. We want to listen to you. We want to hear you. We want to understand you. But it has to be in a very respectful environment, using a very respectful approach with our staff, our principals, administrators, and teachers, even as we expect them to approach parents in a very respectful manner. So parents, please, let's all as adults model the behavior that we expect our children to exhibit. I do understand that sometimes we find ourselves as parents dealing with situations that we don't necessarily appreciate. We're concerned about our children's safety, etc. I do understand that. But I want to say, adults who are out of control only creates another layer of challenge for us to deal with the situation. So please, parents, please, we must be parents. We must be the examples. We must be the role models. Please, when you go to the schools, we need you to use appropriate language, not profanity. We need you to talk with the staff, not at the staff. We need you to work with the staff. They are willing to work with you. So we're asking for your cooperation, your respect, and your modeling of the appropriate behavior and the appropriate words for our children. Remember, safety is everyone's responsibility. In the event you need to contact the Clayton County Public Schools Police Department, that number is 678-479-2650. You may also email us at safety.security@clayton.k12.ga.us. And please, if you have your iPhone, if you've downloaded the app to the school system, under the app, there is a see something, say something app function on your app. Please use that app as you need to. We're doing our very best to stay informed and be as proactive as possible. But we need your help, your proactiveness to help us to become very proactive. As parents, you've been in school, you know most of the conflicts that we're dealing with, they don't start at the schoolhouse. They start within the neighborhood or within the community. Now they start on social media with devices, parents, that we give our children. Therefore, we have to be responsible and hold our children accountable for the devices that we give them. So parents, While all of the schools are implementing strategies to ensure that devices are not being used during the school day, especially in the most inappropriate ways, we're asking that you, as the parent of our children or the parents of our children, that you would please monitor those devices, monitor their social media participation, monitor their postings, monitor. And sometimes on these so-called fight sites, you may see information before we do. We're asking you to please, you may send video clips that you find out there about our students fighting to the website that I've already shared, safety.security@clayton.k12.gs.us. And I realize that we're in a society in which a lot is going on, from the gun violence to physical confrontations to road rage. There's a lot of violence going on in our society, and it has a tendency to spill over into our schools. So we're doing our due diligence to stop that from happening. We want you to know that we have ongoing efforts to ensure safety in our schools. Distribution of clear book bags, and thank you, parents, for understanding and supporting us using the clear book bags. I mentioned the student code of conduct. We have training, and we have lessons that our schools will be using strategically throughout the year. Thank you for supporting their use of those lessons. We're monitoring student behavior. We're implementing positive behavior and intervention and support in all of our schools. We're wanding randomly. We have metal detectors that we're using, body scanners, and we're randomly conducting safe school searches. These are just efforts that we are using. We're grateful for the body scanners. We believe we're seeing a decline in the number of guns and weapons that are being brought into the schools. But it seems that once you fix one area, you've got another area to address. And that area now would be physical conflicts. But we're limiting access that our students have to certain websites during the school day. And parents, we need you to assist us and help limit access to those websites when they're not at school. We have crisis referral programs in all of our schools. We have safety plans, awareness, and training in all of our schools, seminars as well. We continue to use our SROs as a positive resource in all of our schools, secondary schools that would be. And we have a team of SROs to support our elementary schools. But I have spoken with all of the high school principals, all of the middle school principals, and all of the elementary principals. And it appears that our physical confrontations are primarily occurring at the high school level. Our middle schools are really sharing that their strategies are working. Our elementary schools are really sharing that their strategies are working. However, all of the principals, high school, middle school, and elementary, they were very clear with me that an area that we need to work on would be parents. They need parents to be cooperative and appropriate when they come to this campus. So let me say a few things to encourage our parents. Parents, please familiarize yourselves with our student code of conduct and our handbooks. They include all the district expectations. Please make sure students are getting enough sleep so that they arrive to school on time. Early is better. We need you as parents to ensure that students are getting appropriate amounts of rest. Now, you all know when individuals are not getting appropriate rest, They have a tendency to get agitated very quickly. Those of us who have raised children, you know what happens when the children are not getting enough sleep. So parents, I know they're getting older, and I know you take a more hands-off approach the older they get. But I can assure you, take it from someone who's had 4 children, all finished high school, gone to college. You still have to keep your hands on your children even throughout the high school experience. Please have conversations with them about safety, behavior, their acquaintances, their friends. As a matter of fact, can I give you some advice as a parent? I would encourage you to, in the day that we're living in, so much can happen. I would encourage you to possibly discontinue your child going other places and invite their friends to your house so you can monitor what's going on. Parents, we've got to monitor our children. Don't be so relaxed and allowing your children to go to anyone's house or into any environment. That's just a little parent wisdom that I have used over the years to protect my children from certain environments and from certain things that potentially could have long-term impacts on their life and their emotional health. So I just want to encourage all of us as parents. Parenting is a responsibility. It's a long-term responsibility. As long as we're alive, we are parenting our children. There are times that they need us with a more hands-on approach, and there are times when they need our support from a distance, potentially. I can assure you, when they are in school, grades pre-K through 12, they need a hands-on approach. Now, some children are different. Some are more mature than others. Some are more disposed, if you will, to be responsible than others. And all of us, we have to know our children. But parents, it takes a village. And all of us have to do our part. And remember this, parents, the schools, principals, and teachers, we're working with you. We're not working against you. I know in the last 30, 40 years, we've created this culture in this country where it looks like schools and families work against each other. But that's not how we address education here in Clayton County. We work with you. Your Board of Education, they work with you. When you send them concerns, they send the concerns to me to address. Our principals are working with you. Our teachers are working with you. We are working with you. Why? Because we know that your children need us and we need your children in order to fulfill the purpose of educating this community. Let's monitor our students and their social media habits and accounts. Let's ensure that we keep harmful and inappropriate items locked away from our students. And let's please empower our students to make good choices. Parents, having conversations with our children. How did your day go? What's going on? How did class go? What did you learn today? Having those conversations, very, very, very important. And I know parents, you're saying, I'm working a lot. Yeah, we all are. But we still have to make time for the most important people on this earth, our children. We are all very busy. But if we don't make time to mold and to form the most important people, our children. Now, parents, as you're molding and forming Johnny and Susie, sometimes you've got to listen to some other adults that may give you a different perspective. Sometimes they don't always tell you everything that you need to hear or that you'd like to hear. So I want to encourage you to tighten up that village. You want a good relationship with your teachers and your principals and your neighbors, because your 2 eyes or your 4 eyes as parents, they may not be enough to watch everything that your child is doing. And so it takes a village. It takes a village. Most of the time when students are in physical fights, there are 2 sides to every story. And that's what we're learning. 2 sides to every story. But one thing we can do is teach all of our children how to resolve conflicts without physical violence. We've got to teach them through modeling and training how to talk through differences, how to share one's opinion, how to question individuals, how to accept responses. We've got to do our part to ensure that our children understand that there are ways, healthy ways of de-escalating situations so that they can be resolved. We want to remind everyone of our upcoming Village on Patrol meeting tonight at Jonesboro High School at 6 p.m. We hope that you will volunteer, as we need the village to be on patrol here in Clayton County. We have several volunteers already out and about at our schools volunteering. We have some that are waiting on to be cleared, their background checks to be cleared, but we need more of you. We probably have no more than 30 individuals so far, either working or going through the background clearance process. I would love to see that number double, triple within the next week or so. So please join us at Jonesboro High School tonight at 6 p.m. if you're interested in helping us with the Village on Patrol initiative. We want to encourage all of our parents to be informed about the school choice parent information session on August 25th at 6 p.m. It's a virtual session. We'll make sure, since it's virtual, we'll make sure that the communications department send the link to everyone's email again. But that's August 25th at 6 p.m. It's a virtual opportunity. So parents, that's your opportunity to get informed about the school choice options here in Clayton County Public Schools. We also have our Cycling for a Cause resource fair, which will be held August 26th, 8 to 2 p.m. The Homeless Education Department, in collaboration with the Level Up Cycling Club, will host our first annual resource fair, Level Up Cycle for a Cause 2022. We encourage our community to get involved. Please contact the Homeless Education Department. The number will be provided along with the website. We want to share, we still need substitute teachers, parents and all, family members, community. We need substitute teachers. So please, on August 26th at 4 p.m., there's a virtual session. If you're interested in being a substitute teacher here in Clayton County, please participate. The information will be provided in the chat space. We also have a district-wide job fair on August 30th at 5 p.m. at the Professional Learning Center. Again, from 5 to 7 p.m., all persons interested should register to attend. We're seeking paraprofessionals, certified teachers, and other school-based positions. We will have our district-wide School Safety Week, August 29th through September 2nd. This is part of the district's ongoing efforts to promote school connectedness and school safety. We will have featuring different activities each day, and so please scan the flyer that's being posted for you to view. And let's not forget about our 5th annual Mental Health Awareness and Youth Violence Prevention 5K. It's one of our continuous efforts to support the safety, physical, and mental well-being of all of our students and families here in Clayton County. We invite the entire community to join us as we walk or run for our children. Be the ones to participate and share the details of this 5th annual Mental Health Awareness and Youth Violence Prevention 5K. It will be Saturday, September 10th at 9 a.m. at the Spivey Recreation Center at the Clayton County International Park. Please register using the QR code provided. And as a reminder, our orientation dates, every school will host orientation. Thursday, September 8th will be elementary orientation from 5 to 7 p.m. Thursday, September 15th will be middle school orientation from 5 to 7 p.m. And Thursday, September 22nd will be high school orientation from 5 to 7 p.m. I believe I've shared all the announcements. So as I close today, parents, please again, read the code of conduct, have conversations with our children about what's expected in our schools, what's expected in our neighborhoods, in our communities. Monitor social media use and websites, and let's do our part. Do our part. Do our part to ensure that we have a safe and secure learning environment. I want to conclude by commending all of our students who are doing their part to ensure that they can focus on learning here in Clayton County Public Schools at a very high level. We understand that there are still challenges going on in our society, but let's ensure that when we come to our schools, that they're safe, that learning is occurring at high levels, and that our students are able to grow and thrive in our facilities here in Clayton County Public Schools. Remember, we're counting on you. We are moving towards higher levels of performance. So we're counting on every single one of you to do your part. So I'll pause here to see if there are any questions that I can respond to during this YouTube live session. Okay. No questions. Thank you all. Please remind others that we've had this session, and the link will be, or recording will be posted as soon as it's over. Let's have a great rest of the week. Look forward to seeing you at some of our athletic events in the upcoming days. And let's all remember to be on our very best behavior at all of our stadiums as well. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you sometime in the upcoming days and weeks. Have a great week, a great weekend, and a great school year.